I'll bet my entire life savings that she's standing in line waiting to talk to the manager.
Excuse me, sir? Sir, can I talk to a manager? My little Jimmy wanted sprinkles and he didn't get any sprinkles. I could sue you right now. Do you know that? Do you know who I am? I could ruin you.
Oh, mighty depression. Hey, gang. Sorry for the bamboozle, but we're switching things up today. Instead of my usual format where I read through a series of memes, screenshots, and just some generally cringeworthy scenarios, either from nice guys or about nice girls, etc., etc., I'm going to try the more storytime format. Today's sub is going to be r/entitledparents. You know the type. They're the moms who want to speak to a manager. They're the dads who think a mid-rare steak is brown all the way throughout. If you've ever worked in the service industry, retail, education, you've dealt with an entitled parent. We know them. We hate them. I don't know. I'm kind of a sucker for that can I speak to the manager haircut, if you know what I'm saying. But it is what it is. Let's jump right into it. Before we get started, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. It really helps support the channel. I need to get past 1,000. Today's first story is entitled, My Parents Found Out That I Have Money and Want Me to Give It to Them. This story is presented to us by user Felsix, spelled Foxtrot Echo Lima Sierra India X-Ray. Backstory. So my parents disowned me for being an atheist. My family is very religious. They will look at you like trash if you say you don't believe in God. They kicked me out and didn't support... Woof. Okay. I see autocorrect got to this. By the way, I'm reading all these stories for the first time. I know that's probably really unprofessional. Some of them can suck. I don't know. I'm just really trying to gather my genuine reaction to each one of these stories, so I can really sort of give you my off-the-cuff, on-the-fly opinion of each one of these scenarios. Backstory. So my parents disowned me for being an atheist. My family is very religious. They will look at you like trash if you say you do not believe in a God. They kicked me out and didn't support me through college, my last year of college, and I haven't spoken to them for almost 3 years now. Just a few weeks ago, I got word from my cousin that my little sister got hospitalized due to dengue, so I went to visit her when she was about to be discharged. When I got there, it was just my sister in the room. I asked where my parents were, and she said that they were trying to raise funds for the hospital bill. Turns out my parents' medical insurance didn't cover most of the hospital bill and left a large out-of-pocket expense. So I went ahead and paid for it. When my parents came back, I told them it's already paid for and that we're just waiting for the discharge orders. The first questions they ask is why I was there and where did I get the money from. I explained our cousin told me what happened and that I was saving money for my little sister's college. They didn't even thank me, and the next question they asked is how much money I have saved. I didn't give them an amount, but they insisted I should give it to them. I didn't give them the amount, but they insisted I should give it to them since my sister is living with them. I told them no, and that I will give it to my sister personally once she enters college. It's her last year of high school. That wasn't good enough for them, though. They keep saying they need the money, but won't even specify what the money would be for. I still didn't budge. A week passed, and they still didn't stop bugging me, calling me ungrateful to them as my parents, so on and so forth, even asking my girlfriend to have her talk to me about giving them money. Wow. So if we are to take everything OP said as a fact, you know, that he's putting himself through I'm assuming it's a he. Could be a lesbian, non-binary, I'm not entirely sure. If they're putting themselves through college, I'm hard-pressed to figure out just what scenario he might have a lingering debt with his parents for. And if they needed the money for genuine reasons, why wouldn't they disclose it to him? You know, your parents really, you should have a pretty open relationship with your parents. I guess I kind of wish I knew if his parents were struggling with any sort of substance use issues. Gambling, I don't know, man. Bad investments. just kind of shady that they won't say what they need it for. Our next story is titled, I Am the CEO. This one's presented to us by user That One Random Duck. And that's too goddamn many letters for me to spell out to y'all. Our story begins about a year ago. I was running a small video game tournament in the small company I owned. The waitlist had a full list of 16 people, and it was fine until one person ruined it for all. Take a guess.
Yeah, me!
So we were starting up the games when a dad ran into the store with his son. We're here for the tournament. Oh, sorry, but the list is full. Well then, make some room. I can't do that. Listen, pal. I can get you fired with the push of a button. Weird flex, but okay. How? I have been friends with the CEO of this company for a long time, and trust me, Buster, you don't want to mess with me. Well, call him. I proceed to watch him make a fake phone call, and then hang up. He says you're fired. That's really funny considering that I own this company. Entitled parents' look of shock still makes me laugh to this day. God, if this is true, this one's up there, dude. I don't really buy it. This seems almost a little too cliche. Like, this is a pretty bread and butter entitled parents. Like, I don't really think outside of the movies anybody really talks like, I know the owner. I can get you fired. But then again, I do suppose that these are the type of people whose catchphrases, can I speak to your manager? Alright then. Assuming it is real, that is, that had to have been juicy. Like, I love the can I speak to a manager question, because your boy the manager. And, that's just great. But if I was an owner and got asked to somebody threatened to have me fired from my own business, I can't even quantify the levels of gotcha, bitch, that would inspire within myself. So this next one's kind of cheating, because it's not coming from Reddit. I, obviously, at like 400 subs, am not making any money off of YouTube. This ain't a career thing for me. I'm a kitchen manager, dude. I work in a kitchen, I cook, it's what I'm doing to make money at the moment. And I stumbled across this website the other day. It's called Sauce on the Side, and it's really interesting. It's sort of like an Onion type website, but it's all about like interactions in the service industry. And I found this story on there. It's fictional, but I find it quite entertaining, and it's definitely relevant to entitled parents. And if you want to check out more from these guys, I will be leaving a link in the description. But without further ado, I present to you, Mom, special's not special enough for my special kids. The scene. Modesto, California. Karen Quinn, a woman who can be considered less of a helicopter and more of a predator drone mom, has taken her 3 children to Oedipus Mex, their favorite family-friendly restaurant. Everything was going well, until they were seated and given menus. After looking at the specials recently added to the menu, Karen immediately demanded she speak with a manager. This is a disgrace, Miss Quinn, who still holds her napkin for her 16-year-old son while he blows his nose, said, my children are stars shining bright for the whole world to see. I always come here to order them the specials because they're the best. But these just aren't good enough for my golden angels. One of the issues is that Oedipus Mex typically has a steak option on their menu that she always orders for her 18-year-old son, despite the fact that Karen has never asked him if he likes steak or not. Mrs. Quinn has informed the manager that her boy needs a steak special to be added to the menu immediately. This place should know by now that my baby needs his protein. Just look at him. Isn't he handsome? Karen told Sauce on the Side. If he doesn't get a steak, he's never going to grow up to be the strapping Dr. Philanthropist that I'm going to make him be. During the entire interaction, Mrs. Quinn's 14-year-old daughter has been banging her head against the table. Tony Chavez, the manager of Oedipus Mex, is very familiar with Karen's unique maternal approach by now. I'm forced to deal with her on almost a weekly basis, Tony said. Every time she comes in here, nothing is good enough. She'll probably tell us that she's never coming back here again at the end of her meal. Unfortunately, they always do. Mr. Chavez is well aware of what to do with Mrs. Quinn's input. He springs into action, telling her that he's going to admonish the kitchen for not having a special steak for her special boy. When Tony gets back to the kitchen, he simply says, "A crazy lady's back with her keys again. Do you know the drill? Put some cheese and some pico or something on a steak and wrap it in a tortilla." I don't know, man. Having spent as much time as I have dealing with people in the service industry, I find the situation, it's not as satirical as you think. There's some people out there, you know? Hey gang, thanks for hanging out. If you've made it this far, I feel like I can assume that you probably enjoy my content, or at least enjoyed this video. And if that's true, and you'd like to help the channel out, here's a few things you could do. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that, and hit the bell icon too. That way YouTube will make sure to let you know when I put out new content. You could also like the video. This will help me get promoted in the YouTube algorithm itself. You can share this video on social media, like Facebook or Twitter, so your friends who have not seen my content can at least check it out. And lastly, the most important thing that you could do to help me grow my channel is you could leave a comment below. I want serious criticism of, what do you think of the video? Any of my videos really, if you hate them, tear me apart and tell me why. I am so thirsty for your opinions on my videos so I can work on them and try to improve myself as a creator. At the end of the day, I really just want to make content that you people find entertaining. And if you can help me out and just kind of guide me along that path, I'm totes willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, thanks again for hanging out. Y'all have a great evening, and I will see you next week.